Hello everybody, welcome to episode 11 of the Tamagotchi Bunch. So, let's get on to the Tamas real quickly. They have evolved in a sense. Or, pretty much, yeah, they're on the next stage. So, over here we got a cool looking moon. Ah, man. Let's see, it's a sociable family. And it's Mikazaku, or Mikazukichi. Cool little moon child. Of course, this is still part of the space family, so not much going on with this one. We did raise our bonds up to 40%, so we are now in that mid-tier range. So, be doing a bit more of the mini-games, and we should actually be able to at least hit the mid-tier, I think. It's really hard to raise bonds on this device. It is a very big pain in the butt. It's very time-consuming. That's probably like one of the bigger gripes I probably have about the V5 and 0.5 currently, is that the whole bond process is like probably like the worst part of this. And of course we got the same two from last time, Bakuchi and Ichigochi. They need to have their games played with them again, but we do that real quickly. Guess let's do tea time real quickly. Woo! Play more of this fun game. I don't know, overall it's pretty simple currently. Just, oh, I messed that up. Dang. Do this again. Yeah, overall we're doing pretty decently fine. Just one of those weird little events. I'm not a fan of bonding though, because I think the system for bonding just does not work well. Like, I don't know, if anyone else has run the V5, you probably know the experience. Bonding is, like, probably the most tedious thing in the world. Because the bonding mini-games don't give you happiness. So you can't, like, sit there and, like, play them or whatever when they need attention. So that means you have to go through, like, your own volition and... which that means you have to sit there through, like, your own, like, volition and actually, like, play the mini-games itself. Or you can use items, but the issue is the items also do it not really fast. So, for example, I decided to sit down and enter a code in for an item, because at this point, I don't know how to raise bonds in any decent way, besides this one, besides minigames and this. And to be honest, when you're having to do minigames on one of them, you just kind of sit there and spam the Gotchi King DVD. And this, if you do it like 34 times, it raises your bonds or whatever. Haven't done it all full 34 times yet, so just one of those things where you just keep sitting there, and you can't skip the cutscene, by the way. Like, you just have to kind of sit there and keep on doing that over and over again. And that's a way to raise your bonds. The other way is having to sit through the mini games and do it a bunch of times. Or you can do a connection thing, which, what I was reading about the connections is you have to do it 20 times, but you also have to be the winner for those 20 times. It's weird. I don't like the concept anymore. At this point, I think I've gotten really tired of it, because I think only one of them gets the bonds or whatever. Bonding is, I think, what is pretty much the most major downfall of this device so far. Like, it's cool seeing all the Tamagotchis and stuff, and the concept of, like, peer families and everything else, so, like, being cool, but getting to that point is just, like, a work of tedium. I know this is, like, the second run, and now I've, like, learned my mistakes of how to do bonding a bit better at this point. So, third run will probably be, like, super clear, like, hey, now we know how to do this the proper way. Which I've learned the proper way is to just continuously just do the bond games from the start. Bond game, and then spam items. That's pretty much it. You just have to sit there and constantly do that. And that's like a whole annoying process right there. Like, you just have to get on top of it and just keep on going. There's like no stop to it. Just one of those things. And you can't miss out on any of the events either. Oh, well, we actually raised our bonds. So that's what happened with the item right there. So now we have 50% bonds. That means we actually hit our nice little 34 mark there of using that one item. And another issue I want to talk about is at least with this version of the device, the V5, let's say if I wanted to buy that Gotchi point, the CD right there, that is 65, what was it? It was 6,500 Gotchi points. That is insane. The idea that you're supposed to sit there and grind out that much money from mini games that don't, like, at most give you, like, 70 Gotchi points. Just, wow. And you can get, like, 1 Gotchi point items, too, but even those are still expensive. Like, the one I bought on this device the other day, that was still, like, 2,000 Gotchi points. Like, what was it? Got the Planetarium one here. And, like, you want to know how many times you have to use this one? 100 times to actually get the Gotchi point to actually run up. You have to sit there and do that 100 times. And this one mitigates it slightly because in this one, they raise the money account. So that means you can actually sit there and actually buy items more commonly. Like if you look in here, you can see that I have 3,000 points. It doesn't take that long to sit there and raise money on this one. Especially when the max is 700 Gotchi points compared to the 70. So, overall, this one is probably, like, the better of the bunch. Like, I could sit there, go into shopping channel, and it's going to do this whole entire little animation. Good price! And it's food items. I don't need food items currently. But yeah, like, this is kind of just this weird endless cycle at this point. I'll buy the muffin. Because I can easily make back 500 points now. But, like, this is the thing, though. Like, you can... Like, in this one, you can actually sit down and experiment with the items and stuff like that. And, like, you can actually test around. I now understand why this one originally came with something like a DVD that gave away some of the codes and stuff like that. Because you clearly are not buying stuff on this one that often. Because half the time, if you go into this thing, it's either going to be, like, talk about, like, actual items, not food items. Because some of the food items are pretty decently. Oh, it's actually going to give us a sale, so. Yeah, see. But look at this. They're still expensive food items. And to be honest, I've been really holding off on buying food on this one. Just because, like, it's not cheap to buy food. Like, look at this. It's all so expensive and you make so little money on this device. Like, look at how expensive all this is. Like, that's insane. Just for some weird souvenir items and stuff like that. It's like, no. That is not worth the pain and suffering. Which, I now understand why the whole cheat code thing is such an accepted part of this device at this, like, now. Because you're totally not buying items from this often enough to sit there and, like, get that whole value out of it. Because you could play this for a while, but like I said, you're getting, at most, like, not that much money out of all this. So, it's a cool device, but I think overall, like, at this point, I probably recommend, if anyone does get into, like, a V5, I probably would recommend looking into the cheat codes. Like, I'd probably limit yourself on the cheat codes, too. But, like, there's certain items where I'd be like, yeah, you might as well. Just do it. Because, ooh boy, the expense on some of these items. Like, I think if you know how to sit there and limit yourself to, like, the actual codes, which is what the DVD did. Like, if you look into what the DVD did, it only gave you a certain amount of codes, and it wasn't anything, like, super, like, overall, like, killer or whatever. It just gives you, like, a nice little taste, and I think, like, that's probably the best approach to it. Is if you know how to sit there and, like, truly limit yourself with the whole coding aspect of it, or the whole codes aspect of it, then you would totally enjoy this whole little device. It's one of those nice and simple little, like, moments. I'm getting much deeper into this minigame, and I messed up. Dang. But yeah, you see, like, you don't get much money out of this one. If I did this, like, same type of minigame on the other one, I'd be making a lot more. You also don't get happiness from this. So that means you actually have to sit down and go through a whole little happiness minigame, like TV surfing or tea time. I feel like if they ever brought back this device, I'd probably rebalance the whole bonding aspect of it. Like, maybe, like, raise the bonding levels a bit more. Like, I get the idea as you, like, could easily sit down with the games or whatever. But, man, it takes a bit. And you have to sit there, like, with successful games and stuff like that. Like I said, I think by like, the third run, you'd probably get the gist of it and how you're actually supposed to run it now. Like, I think in my next run will actually be pretty successful with how it all works out for me. But I'm just going to mention this now, because I feel like there's just some issues with it that I have, like with the bonding aspects. It's not the worst for Tamagotchi. You can look at the original N-Tama. The original N-Tama, one of its mini-games, is purely luck-based. And, like, that's just super annoying to imagine that whole concept there. So, I don't know. I feel like if they ever redo these, like, V5 ones, I hope they kind of sit down and fix the bonding aspect of it. Because I think that's, like, the one thing that's really holding these devices back, is just, one, on this side, money is super tedious. But, like, I feel like the bonding minigames, like, I feel like there should be, like, a little, like, changes and stuff like that. Like, I think the first two minigames should offer more money, while, let's say, the bonding one offers less money, but gives you, like, more, like, gives you, like, the bond rates, like, a better bond rate. I don't know, I feel like that should be, like, there should be, like, some readjustments to it or whatever. Because, like, having to sit there and, like, do bonding minigames over and over and over again, and while also having to do the other minigames on top of it, feels like they probably should have worked that out. Or just take out the money aspect of the bonding minigames and just sit there and hand you hearts for it, while the other minigames give you money, like a higher money goal or something like that. I don't know, I feel like there's ways to, like, just sit there and rebalance the whole bonding system. I don't know. It's just one of those things I've been thinking about today, because I've been having to sit there and go through it, and I'm like, ugh. Bonding. But overall, sorry for complaining a lot in this episode. Excited that we evolved, though. We're enjoying a lot of the evolutions. We got our cool special one, and hoping that these two change to a different evolution in the next round. Since we are at 50% on this one, they should actually be different evolutions this time around, because we had that nice higher bond rate. And because, different bond rates also have different meanings for the evolutions. So, overall, we're doing pretty decently. We're getting there. So, and this time around, we shouldn't have a negative family or anything like that. So, we should be good. But that's it for right now. Sorry for the complaining episode. It's just I've been dealing with the bond rate thing for a bit now. It's been getting slightly on my nerves. But that's it. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.